What's good, y'all? Today I wanted to talk about how to actually start lifting to get your dream physique, or at least where to start, because there's a lot of misinformation floating around out there that does not help you, and it makes the task seem more daunting. Especially now, today in America, everyone at some point has experienced at least some form of body dysmorphia at some point in their lives. It's so unbelievably over the top, the amount of BS that they feed to us and expect it to work. Especially in today's day and age, the fitness geeks like V-Shred or even like the Liver King. The simple fact that they're allowed to just walk around on this earth and just spread constant BS that makes men and women alike not know what the hell they're doing. It is extremely unfortunate because both of them are obviously clearly on PEDs, and it just ruins everything for everyone because it creates unrealistic standards. And on top of that, they don't even sell real programs. The Liver King doesn't even tell you like what to do. He just tells you to eat like raw testicles or some shit. I haven't bought the program, but I'm like, you've seen the videos. But guys, I'm not kidding. This causes severe problems in the fitness community, or people who are looking to get into fitness to eventually get to a physique where they don't feel like they have body dysmorphia anymore, or at the very least look better than what they did before, and using fitness as a means to get there. People will get fed genuine BS and believe that it actually works, and then they go and try it for like 5 months and genuinely put 100% of their effort into it, and it doesn't work. Then 5 months later, they see literally zero change in their appearance, or they're not tipping the scale either way, and it demoralizes them because they don't know what to do. And on top of that, we get a lot of people who are too scared to start because it's like a jungle that you can't map out. There's so much information, whether it be false or true, out there, and that's why I'm here to help today. I was once in your shoes. I was a skinny little bitch, and I kind of still am, but I was bullied for being skinny pretty much all my life, and I wanted to make a change, and I didn't know where to start. But now, after a 1.5 year transformation, I now have the information that I can pass on to the next generation of lifters or fitness people or whatever you want to call yourself. I can help you to jumpstart your journey and to not look like one of those middle-aged white moms that cannot physically work out like a normal person. So do not buy some random TikToker's fitness program. Just like and subscribe and keep watching this video, and I can promise you, you'll know what to do by the end of this video. All right, I see we got a little bit of an angle change going on here. All right, jumping right into this as fast as we can. I want to start off with body types, because everyone has a different starting point. Depending on your starting point, that's what your program is going to have to kind of rely on. So here we got ectomorphs, the skinny ones, that was me. The mesomorphs, these are like the kind of like natural athletes. And then we got the endomorphs, these are the big boys. All right, see all this? Fuck this. This is bullshit. Listen, I want to clarify. Body types do not matter as much as you think they do. People are likely more inclined to look at the ectomorph, like how I used to look, and be like, oh, well, this guy, he could just eat as much as he wants and he just never gets fat. And then they'll probably look at this guy and be like, well, he could just eat like 1,000 calories a day and just gain like 1,000,000 pounds in a week. This is the fattest lie ever for real, and I cannot stand it. Look, metabolism does play a kind of small part in weight gain and weight loss, but it does not matter as much as you think it does, or at least not nearly as much as you've been taught. Your body will regulate where your caloric intake goes and what it is used for based on your body's needs. Also, I have credit for this information down below from some medical websites to, make sure I'm not, again, telling you some BS. Guys, look, there is something called the law of thermodynamics. All right, you see that? I want you to remember that. Here's the thing. Guys, when I was 140 pounds at 6'2", I don't think you guys realize how skinny that was. I genuinely believed that I could not gain weight simply because my metabolism was too fast. Now, as I probably already said previously, metabolism only plays about a 10% role in how much weight you actually gain and lose, at least for the average person, which likely means you, because I'm sorry, but none of y'all are special, and 99% of y'all probably have a normal human metabolism. But yeah, I did one single week of calorie counting, and I realized I was only consuming 1,600 to 2,200 calories in a single day when I was that weight. Now, looking back, that's probably a normal calorie amount for someone that's 5'6" to 5'8", but at 6'2", I probably required about 2,500 or more a day to actually maintain or to gain weight, to, not look emaciated. Anyways, it goes the same for everybody on the heavier side of the spectrum. These guys, those who complain that even though you are eating at a caloric deficit are not losing weight, are lying. You're not special. You don't have a thyroid issue, because again, the law of thermodynamics breaks all. You cannot gain something from nothing. You can't just be gaining weight from things that you consume and it's still below a caloric deficit. It's not possible. Your body requires a certain amount of calories every day to live, to breathe, to walk around. And even if you were completely sedentary, you'd still need at least like 1,000 calories a day to not die. So for those of you out there saying, oh, well, I'm 300 pounds, but I eat 1,500 calories a day, you're lying. If you eat less than you need to maintain, you will lose weight. This goes the same thing for skinny guys, right? If you eat more than you need to maintain, you will gain weight. That's how it works. It is as simple as that. There is no need to overcomplicate things. Everyone likes to overcomplicate things and sell you, again, some BS story about it, but this is the science. This is how it works. Guys, if you ever catch yourself saying that you can't gain or lose weight, I want you to whisper this to yourself. Thermodynamics. Actually, don't do that because people will probably think you're schizo, but just like say it in your head. I don't know. If you were too skinny like I was at one point, I promise you, start eating. It will change your life. Now, of course, it's not that simple. A lot of people might have some mental issues, whatever, what have you, but I just want to lay this groundwork out because obviously everyone has a different starting point when they want to achieve their dream physique. So I just wanted to offer some info on that. All right, moving on. One thing that everybody's gonna need to achieve their dream physique is resistance training. I'm talking about lifting, brother. Also, if you're from that overweight starting point, do probably about 3 days of cardio on top of this lifting. Also, to add on to this real quick, I hear a lot of absolute bigots say things like, I don't want to get too bulky. I'm telling you right now, shut the fuck up. That is a myth. All right, look, I get it. I understand. We've probably all seen those bodybuilding shows where, like, you know, you see a big jacked, like, I'm talking 300-pound motherfucker, lean, walk up on stage. And chances are you're probably just like me and you go, ew, that's gross. It doesn't look good. Women probably don't like this. They're extremely unhealthy. Not even chances are, they are extremely unhealthy. So here's the thing about lifting and the fear of getting bulky. I hear it a lot. A lot of people say they don't want to start because of it. But again, it's a myth. It is not true. These guys that you see that are genuinely too big, their hearts are about 3 times the volume that they should be. They're on so much juice you could open up a grocery store. And they've been lifting for at least a decade to look like that. The thing is, you can't look like that unless you do exactly what they did, which is lift 7 days a week consistently, take a shit ton of SARMs and gear, and then do that for like 10 years and then die at 30 something. Chances are you're probably more likely, at least from my perspective of starting off skinny, gonna look like this to this. Now, I'm probably almost at my natural plateau. I mean, I know it's only been about 1.5 years, but as you start to gain more muscle naturally, it kind of slowly starts to taper off. I don't remember if it's a logarithmic equation, but it's like one of those ones where it goes up and then slowly just starts to taper off at the top. I more than likely won't see past 190, 195 pounds in my life, at least lean. And that's not that much considering the fact that I'm 6'2". Now, here's the thing. I'm still kind of skinny, but you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I think a lot of you would agree with me when I say the difference between before and after, you know, it's not too much. It's not too bulky. All right, I just wanted to clear that up and preface that before I go on. Now back to resistance training, or more commonly referred to as lifting the fucking weights. Yeah, I don't really know what to say other than just start doing it, but you will need a proper beginner's split to know how to start. There are many to choose from, but I believe the one that I started out with was probably the most optimal in my case. It tends to be relatively high volume, and what that means is just a little bit more sets than normal. There's obviously still a decent amount of intensity given that you go intensely. But anyways, the split is called push, pull, legs ×2. Now, the reason for the ×2 is that you do push, pull, legs, and then rest. At least that's how I did it. And the reason it's set up like this is because generally speaking, you're gonna need about 2 days for recovery so that your muscles can actually utilize hypertrophy. Hypertrophy referring to these small tears that your muscles produce when you're lifting weights that then grow back to be larger than before they tore. And we're talking like micro tears, not anything like severe. Now here's the thing, if you go into the gym and you do bicep curls every fucking day that you go, you're not gonna grow because you're gonna keep tearing what it just healed down more and more, and it's just, you need recovery. So try not to hit the same muscle twice in a row in a single couple days. The PPL, or I mean the push-pull leg split ×2, it can be done numerous ways, but this is my favorite and anecdotally the best that has worked for me so far, especially for beginners. Monday is push, Tuesday is pull, Thursday or Wednesday is legs. And then you repeat. You'd be Thursday push, Friday pull, Saturday legs. And then Sunday, if you're overweight, you could probably use some cardio. And if you aren't, then I guess just rest. All right, so what do these days represent? It's a pretty dumb question. Stop asking dumb questions. No, I'm just playing. All right, look. So push refers to chest usually, and any motion where you're starting from here to here. And then pull refers to any upper body motion where you're starting from here than going to here. So that could be a whole slew of different things. Obviously, legs are pretty self-explanatory, just anything that works your legs. Like on push day, you could also do some overhead press, so on and so forth. I'll go into the details here in a second. Also, before I go into the exact specifics of what I used to do on each day, you got to know how to train first. All right, look, man, if you're on like the leg curls, right? The laying leg curls or the sitting leg curls, whatever variation you're doing, and you're doing like 50 fucking reps, you're not doing anything. The weight that you have is too light. And on top of that, you need to be achieving failure. If you're not achieving failure, you will not gain muscle optimally. So what you got to do, right? If you're able to do like 50 reps, you need to keep upping the weight. So that way you fail between the 6 to 12 rep range, especially for, you know, beginners and you're trying to build muscle. 6 to 12 tends to be really good. If you're trying to power lift, you could probably dumb that down to about 4, maybe 3, 4, 5 reps. But it all depends on what you're trying to do. I was trying to build muscle because I was too skinny, so the 6 to 12 rep range tends to be the best and most optimal for that. And again, I cannot stress this enough. If you do not hit failure during your sets, you're not doing anything. Don't do like a million reps with a weight that's way too light. Up the weight so that you can actually do those 8 to 12 or 6 to 12 or whatever the hell to failure. That is so important. I cannot stress that enough. You need to make sure you are putting in 100% effort within every set that you complete. Now, this is just for beginners. There are some instances in the bodybuilding community specifically where you don't necessarily have to hit failure, but I'm not going to jump into that because I don't train like a bodybuilder. And also I'm not a doctor or a coach. So, you know, take that as you may. All right. So starting off the first day in the split, we got chest or push day. This is more commonly, you know, the favorite of the splits that are out there. Everyone likes to work chest the most, especially if you're a guy. So anyways, I usually started off with 3 sets of heavy flat bench. Then I would move on to 3 sets of incline. Now, mind you, again, all of these sets are to failure. Make sure, again, it's to failure. Cannot stress that enough. We got 3 sets overhead dumbbell press. I really love the dumbbells. It gets me a nice squeeze in the front delts. 3 sets of pec flies, any variation. I mean, you could do cable flies. You could do the machine flies. Any variation works as long as you're getting a nice squeeze as you pull to the center. I love 3 sets of some single arm cable front raises. Those are arguably my favorite for isolation work on the front delts. Then here I got 3 sets of tricep extensions. It's not much. I know it's not a lot, but it's definitely enough for triceps as a beginner. You can definitely tweak that as you go. And we got 3 sets of lateral raises. Do not skip these. I did, and my shoulders are still kind of really small, and now I have to make up for that 1.5 years later. All right, so moving on to back. I love back day or pull day, as I said before. You start off with 3 sets of bodyweight pull-ups. If you can't do pull-ups, then just do lat pull-downs. If you can do a lot of pull-ups, then I would recommend doing some weighted pull-ups with the little, you know, the belt, or just do some lat pull-downs. They're kind of interchangeable in my opinion, but again, not a coach. Then I would move on to 3 sets of bent over barbell rows. These are really good, guys, especially if you don't want to have a complete glass back as you start to move on to more advanced types of lifts. I got 3 sets of chest supported rows. Sometimes I'll do single arm stuff, especially to counteract any imbalances. My right arm has kind of always been smaller than my left, and you know, single arm stuff, if you rep match, you can kind of do some of your own research on that. But if you rep match, you'll kind of counteract those imbalances and your life will be great. Then I got some 3 sets of cable pullovers. I love pullovers because it gives you that nice deep lat stretch. Again, I'm not going really into detail on everything about this, but you know, just kind of giving you some guidance here. Then we got 3 sets of any type of rear delts. Now, here's the thing, do not skip rear delts. They give you that kind of like sideways like width, which is extremely important if you don't want to look super skinny or just kind of like weird. It also really helps with posture. Rear delts make your posture significantly better. All right, and last but definitely not least, we got legs. I usually start off with 3 sets of barbell back squats, which by the way are probably debatably the best fucking workout that has ever existed for legs, hands down. Then I will move on to 3 sets of leg press. Again, all of this is to failure. 4 sets of leg curls. I love laying leg curls, preferably over sitting leg curls, but I do know that sitting leg curls do give you that, again, deep muscular stretch that you kind of need for that full range of motion. And then 3 sets of leg extensions and 4 sets of any type of calf variation. There's a lot of things you could do. There's body weight calf raises. There's machine calf raises. There's the ones that you can do on the leg press, which are pretty nice. But anyways, yeah, after you complete all these 3 days, just start back off with chest on Thursday. Now, again, it doesn't have to necessarily be Thursday. I'm just using this as a reference. As long as you do these twice a week, you'll be fine, especially leg days, because you know what they say, if you skip legs, you're a fucking pussy. Also, this is Gabe from the future. I also do abs on leg day. Don't skip those. I don't know, just do like a curl, like a crunch machine, and then some hanging leg raises. Another thing to be aware of when you guys first start out that I wish someone would have told me sooner, soreness will occur within the first 2 to 3 weeks of lifting. You don't necessarily need to complete all these days twice in a row, or twice a week rather, if you are extremely sore still from the previous day that you worked. But after like the 3rd week, you're not really sore anymore. You stop getting sore. Another thing I wish someone would have told me sooner is that soreness does not indicate that you did or did not put in enough work the previous day. So like, let's say you do chest, right? And you're not sore the next day. That doesn't mean that you didn't do a good chest day. See, the thing is, y'all, soreness is not an indicator of when you went to failure. As long as you go to failure, and as long as you slowly but surely every day that you go, you add like an extra rep or add about 5 pounds per set, you are gaining muscle. Now, that might not be pretty apparent or coherently available to see in the first 3 weeks to a month, but you will once you get to 5 months. I mean, there's something called newbie gains, especially, where your strength just explodes as long as you start off right. And I mean, dude, like I went from benching like, 115 for reps all the way up to like 185 for reps within the first 6 months. But then after that, again, it slowly starts to slow down, and I've been benching 205 for like 8 for the past like 2 months. But that's kind of my own fault because I don't eat enough. I would give more info on diet and stuff, but I'm not a dietitian. Just look up like a calorie counter or some shit, or specifically the basal metabolic rate calculators that'll give you exactly how much calories you need to maintain your weight, to lose your weight, and to gain weight. But I would always promote a protein-filled diet, things such as milk, fish, eggs, meats, chicken especially, very readily available. Chicken is amazing. Chicken is my friend. Me gusta los pollos. Another thing I would like to add is that creatine, especially as a beginner, is always your friend. Creatine, I made a whole video on this. Creatine decreases recovery time rather, increases your strength by about a good 8% if you can consume the right amounts. Whatever. I made a whole video on it. Links in the description. Just go ahead and watch that if you want to. But as long as you stay consistent and disciplined with this schedule, and as long as you are going to failure, completing your sets as you should, you will gain muscle. You will gain muscle. Especially if you are trying to lose weight at the same time, you're going to see significant strength gains because you have more calories readily available to add to your musculature, which is why you see a lot of big fat guys being able to squat and deadlift well over 400 pounds within the first 2 years of their training. For us skinny guys, it's going to be a little bit harder to gain that strength, but at the same time, we're going to probably, again, beauty in the eye of the beholder here, but we're probably going to look a little bit better. But again, if you're one of those bigger guys, as long as you add some cardio 3 days a week to that, your muscles will, the thing is, that's another fucking myth, that your fat turns into muscles. It doesn't do that directly. You got to lose the body fat and gain muscle at the same time. That's if you want to do it like that, you can. You could just lose the body fat first by just eating in a deficit, doing your cardio, so on and so forth. But I don't know. I'm not going to go too in depth with that. You kind of probably can already figure out what I'm talking about when I say that. Anyways, that's all I really got for you today. Just kind of wanted to, give you some info so that you didn't look like an idiot if you were trying to start going to the gym, which you should start doing, by the way, because America, especially, we got a lot of health problems here. People don't like to do hard things. They say, I don't want to do it. It's hard. Again, respectfully, you're a bitch. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It would be very appreciative if you were to do something like that. Don't skip leg day. Otherwise, again, you're a bitch. And yeah, I don't know. I'll have some good stuff for you guys coming out pretty soon. So stay tuned.